Hey Stitches, what's up? Welcome if you're new here. If you're not new here, welcome the heck back. I'm glad to see you, even though I can't literally see you, because you're somewhere else and this is the internet. My name is Nisha. I do an art. I usually do an art on my face on this channel. Sometimes I art in other places, and sometimes I art in public. But today we're doing a chatty get ready with me using the Menagerie Indigo ink palette and talking about the brand a bit, and it is going out of business and they are having a sale to get rid of all their inventory. So sad for me. Anyway, if you want to see how I got this look, stay tuned. I'm so sorry I didn't film the lip part. Maybe in another time. Anyway, if you want to see this lip, keep watching. Hey Stitches. Alright, so we're going to go into this Indigo ink palette from Menagerie. It is discontinued, and unfortunately Menagerie is closing down, but fortunately I guess the owner is going to be creating a new brand. This is not the first time the owner has done something like this. Going into Inkblot. Off topic. This is going to be another colorful summer look, and it's August. It's August. And I don't believe in seasonal looks. I don't believe in it. I understand that it is a fashion industry scam to keep us spending money. I understand that. However, I can't resist a good theme, and I totally treat seasons like themes, and I totally go by that. So I'm squeezing in as many summer looks as possible until fall rolls around. And then I'm going to be like squeezing in all the fall goodness. It's how I am. I can't help it. I don't believe in it, but I totally do it anyway. But yeah, I guess Menagerie is closing down Menagerie, and then they're gonna... It's not the end of them in the indie makeup world, I suppose, so keep an eye out. Something very humbling I find since starting this channel is how often I say and something else, I didn't realize that I throw my head back when I'm recalling something, and I don't know why. But I suppose it's what I need to think. Going into this, it's called Inky Torpedo. It's a primary blue, and I'm gonna blend that out. But yeah, Menagerie used to be Makeup Monsters. I've shown you my Makeup Monsters palette a couple times on this channel. I still use it a lot. It was like the perfect Nisha palette when I saw it come out, and I lost my shit. I had very little money at the time, and I saved up the $40-something and pre-ordered it, and didn't understand what a pre-order was wondering why it was taking so long to arrive in the mail, and the owner kindly, very kindly and patiently explained what the hell a pre-order is to me, and boy didn't I feel stupid, but she was so kind about it, and I've been in love with the brand ever since. It's sad to see how much some people maybe don't have the same opinion as me and hold the brand in the same regard, and that's valid. That's valid. I will not invalidate anyone's experience, but I've got incredibly happy memories with the brand. So this is a little sad for me, but the indie market is now saturated, and can I say, since 2012, and especially going into 2016, 2018, and now through now, this has been an incredible time to be a makeup lover, especially to be a colorful makeup lover. Going into Nori with a very similar brush, because you guys don't understand. If you're younger and watching this, you don't understand. I don't know if I have any younger viewers, but if I have any, I was a teenager I started high school in, I think, 2001 or 2. I'm that old. And when I really started wanting to play with makeup, and on top of it, I lived on the Big Island, on Hawaii Island, and on Hilo's side, and we didn't really get very many things. You know, it was a very lovely place to be a teenager and to be growing up, especially with Y2K body standards. It was a very beautiful haven, but to want to experiment with makeup and all we had was drugstore and Clinique, it was a big deal when the MAC counter showed up at the Hilo Mall at Prince Kuhio Plaza. And my very first eyeshadow that I ever bought with my own money, I bought an eyeshadow and an eyeliner. It was Swimming from MAC. It was a shimmery neon green or lime green, a lime green, and an olive eyeliner to go with it. And I didn't know how to use it. And my foster mother showed me how to use it. I was hooked from there on. But if you were into colors, you had Urban Decay and you had MAC. Back then, Urban Decay was really something. And then it wasn't so funky anymore, you know? But Sugar Pill came out. Sugar Pill came out. We had Napoleon Paradis. And things just kind of, I feel like from the Sugar Pill era, things kind of blossomed out. You know, the Lime Crime happened. And now we've got all this stuff. And brands, they come and go. But the standards have been raised. Everything just the color payoff, the blendability, the shine expectations of shimmers have changed. It's an incredible time. It is to be artistic and for your art expression to be your face. An incredible time. I'm so happy about it, and I'm happy for everyone who's into makeup right now. Because if you were there in the early Y2Ks in the 90s, it was limited. But yeah, I guess while Menagerie still has stock, they're having massive sales. So if you're trying to check them out before they check out, go check that out. Something I noticed that's kind of making a comeback in makeup are frost finish eyeshadows. I don't think they particularly went anywhere per se, but with all the rise of the flaky multi-chromatic eyeshadows, I did notice that everyone just kind of lost interest in, like, first the big thing was foils. Like we used to be really into frosts, and then everything had to be foiled. You know what? I have not touched this shade yet. Let's touch it. I don't even know what it's all about. But we used to be really into foils as a makeup loving society, and then it was the new thing. And then suddenly going into shell, yeah. Suddenly one day those super reflective eyeshadows that looked like glitter but they weren't, those became really popular, and I love those. I love those with my whole soul. And then The flaky multichromatics such as these, those became a big deal. But now that a lot of us are getting older, it's not quite enough. In fact, it makes it kind of harder to have all that texture on your eyelid as it is aging, as it's sagging down, as your eyes become more and more hooded. We're starting to miss those old-fashioned frost finishes. That's what they were called in my experience. My first experience with them were through MAC. Of course, I was an obsessed MAC girly, and it was such a big deal to us back in the Y2Ks to have that frosty finish, like you had chilled a glass in the freezer before making a drink. And I wonder why we ever lost interest in it. To be fair, these super foiled eyeshadows are really fun, but now I'm like kind of craving a frost. I'll show you an example. This is another extinct brand, but like this guy right here. You see what I mean about that chilled glass effect? It's not super high impact or anything, but the finish is beautiful. And why did we ever lose interest? I think this eyeshadow looks like a male parrotfish. I did a paper on them, a presentation on them in marine science, and I love them so much. Did you know that, parrotfish, they live in harems, one male to two to several females. The females are very magenta with a little bit of yellow, and the males are very this colored. And whenever the male turns into an ex-parrotfish, he's an ex-parrotfish, Monty Python. The most dominant female will coat herself in a layer of mucus and kind of hibernate in there for a few days, somewhere where the current won't sweep her away, and then she'll turn herself into a male. That is so cool. Also, not all white sand, but a certain type of white sand comes from them eating coral and then expelling it. Coral goes in one end, white sand goes out the other end. Like, how macho is that? Ooh, you know what? Let's do Pygmy and then blend it out with Ink Floyd. And I told you guys, I can't always have new makeup on this channel. I can't. And I kind of noticed with a lot of the new releases, I haven't been feeling them quite enough to purchase them, but I have been really just aching for some of the older releases that came out while I was in my depression slump and not paying attention to makeup. And when I do get makeup, it's gonna be a lot of late to the game stuff. Okay, now it looks like a macaw parrot. And I'm not mad at that. But there will be makeup. It's gonna be a lot of chatty get ready with me, shop my stash kind of stuff. Okay, So we threw that on the lower lash, blended it out with that, and that on the inner corner. Okay, so here is the finished look. And the lips are a combination of Emperor and High Tide. These don't exist anymore. I'm gonna say I hate liquid lipstick. I totally jumped on the trend when it happened. I was like, I don't know what everyone's complaining about with their lips drying out with these effers. Who gives an F? And I was totally making sacrifices for the sake of fashion. And then one day I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I discovered Necromancy Cosmetica, and I was like, why have I been tolerating liquid lipsticks all this time when they suck? But I will say the Menagerie formula does not do that to my mouth. It does not hurt my mouth. It doesn't dry my lips out. And I honestly forget that I'm wearing their lipsticks every single time. I always check to make sure my lips are still on, and they are. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this chatty get ready with me. Let me know your thoughts on Menagerie Cosmetics. Let me know if you made it to the end, who your favorite extinct makeup brand was and what your favorite item from them is, and when you started playing with makeup. I don't know. Chat with me in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this was good for you like it was good for me, and it was so good for me. And don't forget to like, leave a comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can find out when I post. I post pretty often. I don't have a set schedule, but I post often. And check me out on other social media, especially TikTok. And if you know anyone else who likes this kind of content, share if you are so inclined. I love you stitches so hard. See you in the next one. Bye.